Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting Radio, EB Radio. EB Radio. Your station for empowerment presents Mom Boss Talk Radio, a show that brings real life, real moms, and real experiences to empower mom bosses everywhere to be ambitious, highly driven, fierce, fabulous, and fearless. Mom Boss Talk Radio begins now.
Welcome back, Mom Bosses. It is another amazing Thursday. We're going to have a great discussion, as we always do. Okay, I'm one of your hosts, Manyetta, and Jerisha should be joining us in future episodes. Let's just dive into it. Okay, let's dive into this gem of a discussion, this topic. I happened to be talking to a colleague of mine, and we were talking about perception. Because of everything that I do outside of work, it's like two different worlds, right? It's like night and day. You see me, I don't go into work all glammed up. I go in, I do my job, and I leave. And, once they found out of all the things that I do and all all of my social medias, they're like flabbergasted because it's like night and day. Night and day. And we were discussing perception and, that people would never think by just looking at me all of the things that I do or all the things that I'm into and stuff like that. And that really got me to thinking of I think we need to talk about this because perception can be harmful if you let it. Right? If you let it bother you, allowing people's vision, their version of you, to come into light, it's kind of like, it's a crazy world that we live in to think that people have these, crazy narratives about someone that they barely know, and it's nothing toward her. It was a good conversation. And she's wonderful. And I'm like, yeah, these are all the things that I do. And, I'm very happy that they know a little bit more about me because I tend to be, especially if I'm in regular work setting, I'm kind of to myself. I'm quiet. I go in, I have my task and I do my job and I kind of head out because I have a million other things that I have to do. But of course, me being me, loving a good quote. I saw a quote and it said, "The version of me you created in your mind is not my responsibility." And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a great takeaway of not allowing people's thoughts or what they feel you should be intertwined with who you really are. And it's crazy how people just kind of create these, storylines in their head about who you are. It's a really deep psychology that I plan on looking into. I'm not even going to kid you. Anything that deals with the mind, I absolutely love it. But that kind of got me to thinking of over the years and over time, people's perception of me. Because I am a very, quiet individual in spaces. I'm an introvert by nature. When I get around people I do not know, I am observant. I don't speak. I don't hold very, light conversations. If we're going to talk about something, can we talk about something of substance? Because I feel like it's a waste just to talk about very small, minute things. And people's perception of me, like, I didn't know did this, or I didn't know you did that. Well, that's fine if you didn't know, but to create a narrative of who you think I should be or who you think I am can be very dangerous in a sense. But that, for you as an individual, should not let someone else's perception, get you down in any type of way, because I think sometimes people's thoughts of you can kind of trigger you. And then I saw another quote, and it said, I stopped explaining myself when I realized people only understand from their level of perception. And I'm like, that is so true. Because now you have to sit there and explain why you're not the character that they've created in their mind. And it's no need to, because they're people's, people who understand and want to get to know you on a baseline level, like those are gems. Like they're willing to learn. They're willing to get to know who you are. And I think everyone tends to have some type of perception of people. I think even just slightly, like, oh, that person looks like they can play sports, and they probably never played sports a day in their life, right? I got that a lot because I'm kind of tall. I'm kind of tall, so people are automatically equated me to some type of sport, and it's like, no, I'm not really into sports, um, but I am into music. So people would never guess the things that I've accomplished and things that I've done, or things just based on what they see. It can be kind of crazy, but at the same time, it's like, let them have whatever version of you, just whatever, especially those who are very combative and, want to kind of go back and forth with you. There's no explanation. You know who you are, you know what you're about, you know the things that you enjoy. You don't have to explain it to anybody. Okay. Also, too, perception can be confusing, like I was saying before. And I also read this, I always get good quotes on Pinterest, um, or even, tips and things like that. Pinterest is the GOAT. Okay. And it says perception can be confusing. People may say you hurt them, but what you might have done was say your truth, stood up for yourself, said no, protected your heart energy, opted out, made an inner decision. Maybe they need a reminder about boundaries, entitlement, and human rights. So by people, and I've seen this before, where people, like stand their ground of who they are, and people like, no, you're not really interested in that. Oh, I can't see you doing that. Oh, you're not that type of person. Oh, you can't do that. They're so quick to try to change your narrative of who you really are in reality to fit the narrative and the storyline that they've created in their head about you. Ain't that deep? That's deep. That is crazy. It is deep. And I've experienced that so much, so much throughout my life. Um, People would never guess and even fathom, like, oh my gosh, you enjoy that. Oh my gosh, you like that. Oh, da, 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 da. Yes, I have my own interests. I have, things that, I enjoy and love to go see, and things of that nature. For instance, people would never guess that I love me some Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. Party. I would love to go party. People will see me as like, you party? I'm probably not as hard as, before. And I wouldn't even say call that hard partying. But yes, I would love to go out, love go dancing, the music, just all the things. People would see me and think I'm so docile and think I would never. Well, guess what? Forever I will. I do all those things. I have fun. I like to go out. I would love, I mean, even though it's been a while, but guess what? I'm going to start going out and treating myself how I feel I need to be treated, right? But stuff like that, people would never, never guess that I would love to go out. People don't, you drink? Yes, I drink. And what's wrong with that? Okay. And in moderation, moderation. Um, and those are the perception. People look at you and they put you on this pillar, or they put you in this little box, and that's where they expect you to stay. But it's crazy if someone was in turn create that box and narrative for them, they wouldn't like it. But they would never understand why you would not like it. It's really crazy to me. And I think perception, um, as an individual who's coming into their own and figuring out the things that you want to be and what you like, what you enjoy. You should never, I don't care if it's friends, family, whatever, acquaintances, co-work, it doesn't matter. People's perception of you should not dictate or guide you in a direction that you were never meant to go or you never wanted to go. You have to stay focused on who you are in reality. Okay. So I also wanted to read this too. Okay. You're getting a lot of gems today. You're getting a lot, a lot, a lot. Okay. Perception is not reality, as we discussed before. Okay. Since it is subjective, meaning that everyone interprets this world differently based on the experiences that they've had and the belief system that they've developed. Only truth is reality. Okay. All else is ignorance, deception, distraction, distortion, limitation, and doctrine, and um, the elaborate mystery and illusion that we call life. And when I read that, I'm like in awe because that is true. Perception is not reality. Any perception is just not, it's not real. And I think people, and also too, I also think that people create these things in their mind as a comfort for themselves. They don't want to see certain people in a certain light or a certain in a certain way. So they create this thing, and when people are telling the truth of who they are, they want to ignore it. They want to block it out as if you're not telling them these things. And that's where you as an individual have to take a stance, own who you are, the reality of it, no longer explaining to individuals who will not grasp reality. And you need to move forth with your life and your endeavors. And for you also to not fall into a deep hole of perception. And even though you can look at something and of think of certain things, even when you look at certain pictures, and it can go not only for people's personalities and people's lives, but it also can go from just looking at certain objects in one, like in one dimension, and just looking at things is like, oh, it looks like this, but if you see it in all angles, it's completely different. The truth reveals itself once you see it from all angles. So with that, we really have to be careful ourselves of falling into creating a perception of things, right? And I know it's hard, believe me, I know it's hard, because you see something and the first thought is to like, oh, maybe this or maybe that. But you also, I feel you should be able to acknowledge that it's a possibility that it's not the thing that you think it is. That's where the balance is, because I feel like everyone's going to have some type of perception of something, someone. But I think it's, as long as you have self-awareness and you're able to decipher reality and what you perceive something to be, I think it'll be fine. I honestly think it will be fine. But I really thought this like was a brilliant topic, and I found a lot of great quotes and a lot of and I'm going to do more research, because anything that deals with mental health and dealing with navigating mental health, I love to do research on it, look it up, and get to the root of certain things. And I feel like people who can't fathom seeing someone as their authentic self is delusional. And I feel like, as a person who feel like you should embrace your authentic self, you should not put yourselves in situations where that negativity will bring you down in any instance. I really truly do. So I really hope you enjoyed this topic, because I really feel like it's we have habits of looking at people and completely, taking away their authenticity because of our own selfishness and our own denial that people are individuals, and people, like different things no matter who they are and what they look like. And I think we need to do a lot better at that type of thinking. But as long as you know how to build, as long as you know how to not let it bother you, and I know it's hard. As long as you know to keep yourself balanced and to keep yourself focused on the bigger picture of you and your reality. It's your reality. And I know it can be difficult if a whole bunch of people around you have these, crazy, things that they think of you, and you're constantly trying to defend or trying to explain and trying to just kind of put it in words that they will understand. I know it's hard when you're kind of in those environments. I would just say stay focused. Definitely stay focused. Do not let the outside forces get to you in any capacity. That's all I have to say. I really do hope you enjoyed this topic. Definitely join us Facebook, Mom Boss Talk Radio on Facebook, posting more over there. We are rebranding, have some great things that's happening. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. We did a photo shoot. Okay, we're going to give you guys a glimpse of that as well. It looks fantastic. It's so good. And I had to share. The pictures came out beautifully. And that's just, for you all, for all the listeners to know, we are here. We are upgrading. We're, moving forward. We're, elevating. We're getting things done. So I'm happy you tuned in. And of course, Jerisha, she will be with us next time. But we are mom bosses on a mission to empower all over the world. Remember to be ambitious, highly driven, fierce, fabulous, and fearless. You are making moves. You got this.
Thank you for joining us on Mom Boss Talk Radio. Follow each of the Mom Bosses on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you love Mom Boss Radio, visit the website at www.envisionedbroadcasting.com. We'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give a review on iTunes. Until next time.